Hey, hey, hey. How y'all doing? Hey, everyone. It is your girl, your favorite college for free coach, but I'm not coming to talk to you about college stuff today. I am coming to talk about something else. So come on in, join. Um, I'm doing this several. I thought about doing this anyway, and then some people been asking me questions and inboxing me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and share because I said I was gonna share, then I said I wasn't gonna share, and I said let me share. So, y'all know it's your girl, Coach Tameka, and if you know anything about me, I always try to make each moment teachable. I try to teach lessons learned. I'm always willing to share, especially when we're talking about subjects that plague us in a critical way. And this is something that plagues women, especially women of color. And what I'm finding is like, man, we don't talk about these things. We don't talk enough about it. We don't share. And more people are just kind of suffering in silence or are in their own zone. And so, you know what? I said, okay, I guess I got to talk about it because people asking me questions and they're like, man, I wish people share things because I even learned some things because, heck, I didn't really know nothing. But there are people within my circle who have gone through this. So I was able and I was blessed to get insight from them. So I am going to share with you, for those who don't know, I share a lot about my health journey, just being intentional about eating, what I do, working out, all that stuff. Well, part of how I live my life is managing my health. So and part of this, I guess I can't help it. Heck, being a professional project manager and a Lean Six Sigma black belt, I kind of approach my life as such. So that's the geek in me, the engineer in me, call it what you want. But I'm very intentional about how I manage my health. And I encourage you to do the same thing. When they talk about studies around, uh, especially women of color, Black women, that we're not heard, people don't take our symptoms seriously, and we have to advocate for ourselves. I have experienced that, and so that is so true. So I'm talking to you, everyone. I'm gonna try to do this quickly about my fibroid journey. So, men, you can tune out or you can listen because, hey, you got a wife or sister, they need to understand this. And so um I have somebody, I'm not going to say their name, but somebody who I work with, and I was encouraging them to know what's going on with their body. I mean, they hadn't had a checkup in a while, and I know with the pandemic many of us didn't go to the doctor. So last year was the first time I went back to the doctor per se, to resume checkups and all those different things. And those are so important. It's so critical because when I went, my doctor was like, now how old are you? You need to do your colonoscopy. I was like, really? Yeah, you were supposed to do it at 45. I was like, oh, okay. So there are certain things we need to know, and these screenings help to prevent certain things from happening. So I encourage you to definitely schedule an appointment with your doctor. But I was talking to her and she was sharing, you know what? I haven't had an OB check in a while. I don't know if I have fibroids. Maybe that's why I feel the way I do. Like, okay, I need you to go and find that out because I didn't look at no statistics or anything like that. I'm really just going off the cusp with my experience. But we as women of color, especially Black women, are more prone to having fibroids, and so it's very important for us to know this. I've known I've had fibroids for a while. I well, I had a doctor tell me I had them, but it was just kind of like, yeah, you got them, and that's it. And at that time, I don't know, I was just living life, doing me, busy, doing all kinds of things. So I didn't really think about it until, one of my friends who was having some trouble with hers. And it was like, you know what? I need to understand what this means for me, because I know my mom had them and she ended up having a hysterectomy in her 30s. And so I was like, I need to learn more about it. But I had a doctor who really didn't educate me or tell me anything about it. I didn't even know how many I had. So what did I do, everyone? I changed doctors. I changed doctors. When I changed doctors, oh my gosh, I loved my new doctor. And it was a hike for me. But this was my health that we were talking about. So, hey, I only go to the doctor, what, once a year, once or twice a year. Hey, I can make a trip to the other side of the of metropolitan Atlanta, an hour or so drive to go see my doctor because I got the care that I was looking for. I had a doctor who was concerned. I had a doctor who cared. So much so she educated me. She told me how many I had. She looked at the positioning of them and all those things. Was like, you know what, you want to have kids, you're good, you're cleared, all that good stuff. Went did some extra testing to make sure I was good. That of course made me feel so great. So that armed me with information, and that allowed me to have a baseline to monitor to going forward, which is why I knew something was wrong and I needed to take action. And so because I told you I'm actively managing my health. I'll pay out of pocket to get extensive blood work so I can just see where my levels at, know where, okay, I'm vitamin D deficient, I'm this, I'm that. How's my I've been under a lot of stress because just being a caregiver and all the things that come with that has been stressful. So I know things about my body because I've been managing it, monitoring it, and I pay attention to the signs my body gives me. And so I'm constantly monitoring that. And in doing so and seeing that, okay, my adrenals were a little fatigued and all that good stuff, I need to address that. We also started seeing, hey, something's going on with your blood levels and blood count and all this stuff. And like, why am I so tired? I thought it was because my cortisol level was depleted again and I needed to fix that because of the stress I was under. Well, it really wasn't that. I was losing iron. I was iron deficient to the point to where I was in an anemic state. And so got did some iron infusions. And let me tell you, insurance don't cover that. You do that a few times, 500 times a pop, you're like, okay, wait a minute. Well, Tameka's like, let's find out the root cause of this because we're not gonna keep paying $500 to find out what's going on. So I mean, to get iron infusion so I can feel better. This is a band-aid temporary fix. I need to find out what is causing it. And so over the course of doing that, I learned, man, when your iron is low, do you know that your heart has to work that much harder to pump your blood? And there are so many other side effects to having low iron that can cause long-term issues along the way. So one time I went to urgent care and she said, I need you to get this under control because as we get older, you need to just accept the fact that part of your supplements needs to include iron and what did she say? Iron and D. I need to just get used to taking that every day as part of my supplements because I take supplements, but I wasn't taking that. And she was explaining to me the effects of when you have low iron in your body and how it can turn into bigger issues that none of us want. And I was like, okay, yeah, we not doing that. So we gotta find out what's going on. So it was almost time for my annual and all that good stuff. So ladies, if you've never, when you do your annual exam, if you're not getting um an ultrasonic exam as well, where they look at your uterus and check for fibroids and stuff like that, you need to start doing that. Now, let me tell you, don't think that your OB doctor is going to automatically do that because they not. Some doctors may, but some doctors you have to advocate and you have to ask. I had to advocate and I had to ask. I know I have fibroids. You know I have fibroids. We went through this last year. Why do I have to ask to get it done again? It should automatically be part of my annual exam so that we can monitor it and make sure nothing has changed from the previous exam. But I had to advocate. And in me advocating, heck, I had to pay a copay to come in the office just to have the conversation with her to get permission for me to do it. So that cost me more money because I had to pay for extra visits just to get something checked that should be normal, should be part of the process. But whatever. So I did. And so when we did that, I was able to, when we got the results, it was like ding, 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 red flag. Hi, there's been change. There's been a change since my last exam. She didn't have to tell me that. I knew that because I actively manage my health on my own. I'm not waiting on no doctor to tell me anything. And so when I saw, okay, wait a minute, the size of some have increased. I knew I always had 3 fibroids. And so when I saw they had increased and it looked like the position of it had changed because this time they told me the positioning of it where it was at. She was like, there's no way you can have a child. So because I had the baseline information, I knew, okay, something had changed. So that on top of the review of my blood levels over time and getting the iron infusions and drilling down to, okay, what's causing this? It was like, yes, ding, 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 ding. Here's the culprit. You got these old ugly fibroids that must go. So we started discussing options, and I qualified for all, but of course, they want you look at the laparoscopic method and da 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 all this. I'm like, look, these things don't belong in my body, so I want them out. I don't want no band-aid fix. So I opted to do the surgery because I wanted them removed. I didn't want nothing where you cutting blood supply where it can reconnect and they can start growing again in about a year. No, we're not doing that. That's just a waste of time. And then I'll have to deal with the symptoms and the problems all over again. Baby, let's remove it. Let's get it done. And so made that decision in October. Unfortunately, here in Atlanta, we got some a situation going on with the closing of hospitals. It has just made everything a hot mess. It is literally taken a long time, and it became an additional stress factor on me trying to get it scheduled. It was just a major ordeal, but we finally got it done. I advocated to do the myomectomy. I didn't need to go all the way to the hysterectomy because based on it being 3 and what we knew, I wasn't having the critical symptoms to where they'll say we must do something now, and this is why you got to advocate for yourself because their measurement of what's critical was different from my measurement of no, we need to take action. So there are situations where I've had friends where the doctor's like, no, we must take action. We need to get these removed. And it could be size, it could be a whole bunch of other things. Mine were not bothering me to that effect, but I was having other effects. One, it was depleting my iron, and it was impacting my blood levels. So that, and then the ongoing symptoms I had just every month with my cycle. But from a medical perspective, that's not what they deem critical and necessary. So it was classified as an elective surgery. Well, it was the best thing I did because when I did it, let me tell you, I told you I had 3. That's what we've always saw on the ultrasound exam. That's what we had monitored. We had tracked over the last, because I'm trying to think how long ago it's been since I first was told I had fibroids. Probably about maybe 10 years or so. I don't know. Maybe a little less than that. But had surgery. Yeah, she removed 9. 9. I had 9 that they removed. The ultrasound only saw 3, but she removed 9. And she showed me the picture of them. Now I'm like, I'm a scientist at heart, but that I did not have to see. Like, Tameka, here's your uterus, and here I didn't have to see all that. But nonetheless, she removed 9. Like, that's why I was having all these problems. I had 9 aliens that needed to be removed. So this is why you have to advocate for yourself, because they only can see what they can see, and you don't know what else is in there that could be causing you problems. And if you're not advocating for yourself and you're not asking for relief and, hey, no, this is what we need to do, they're not going to do anything. So this is why, ladies and men who love your ladies, encourage them. I know there are people, because I was talking to somebody last week, and somebody's like, well, I don't want to get cut. Heck, I didn't want to get cut neither. I had back surgery, 5 years ago? And I was like, okay, I'm done. No more surgeries. I didn't want to get cut again either. But the reality was, you know what? It's going to make my life better. And fibroids can turn into other issues. So I ain't even gonna speak that. So you have to advocate for yourself. So once I finally got a surgery date, I put a plan. My One of my other doctors, who's like my natural care doctor, I've been with her for years, and we do a lot of natural things. Um, we mapped out a plan to get my body ready. Y'all know I work out. I ramped up my workout. So I worked out continuously, I think like 10 days straight leading up to the surgery. I wanted to make sure my body was in good condition to undergo the surgery so that I can heal okay. I I did I stretched, I think, the 4 days leading up to the procedure to make sure my body again was just in good position. So I worked out, I stretched. The week of the surgery was on a Friday. So starting that Monday, they make you stop taking your supplements, which I don't understand. I'm like, it's just vitamin C, vitamin D, all this stuff. So I had to stop taking all that. The only thing they told me I could keep taking was my iron supplement. Because of course, they don't want you going in there and you depleted on iron. And they have to give you blood and all that stuff. But I meant to bring it in here. I have some arnica gel. So I started rubbing that on my stomach so that would help my skin start getting ready for the healing process after the procedure. So I did that. Those are some of the things I did in, like, I think 2 days before, because during this time leading up to the surgery, it was extra stressful because those in my inner circle know my dad was in the hospital. So my mom didn't get to come to be here for my surgery because my dad was in the hospital. And so we were concerned about him, um, just praying that he would be okay, that he will hold on, you know, um, end up having, resuscitate him one day. It was just a lot. And so I had to find a way to turn off the everything going on with my parents to get myself ready for my procedure, because you cannot go into no major surgery with a lot of stress on you. So it was a difficult time, but I had to give it to God, let him have it, and I had to focus on me. Because babe was like, look, we got to figure out something, because you cannot go into this surgery with all this on you. So one of the things I did to prepare to get myself to get in a place to start releasing and just taking tension out of my body. Yeah, you probably heard me talk about float therapy. I love float therapy. So I made an appointment, when did float therapy, soaking in some Epsom salt, and just release all the tension. And then what I did, I protected my boundary, my space, to make sure no stress got introduced after that. So that allowed me to go into my procedure cool, calm, collected. Because I was still working out, I was still stretching, and all those things. So I know there are some folks who asked me to talk about this. They're getting ready for similar procedures. So these are some of the things I did to prep my body. So after the surgery, they were like, "You're doing good." All I can say is because of God, and I take care of my body, what I eat, what I put into it, and how I exercise it. And I just ramped it up right before the procedure, like 2 weeks before the procedure, to make sure I was extra ready. So anybody who's preparing, that's what I would encourage you to do. I even um Now I wasn't doing this, but I have a Sarah who does juices and stuff. So I ramped up my fresh juices. So I was doing a lot of more fresh juices just to get myself ready. And I did the fresh juices right after, once I got home as well. Because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know how I was gonna feel after the procedure. Because back surgery, I thought was extensive, which that surgery took a lot longer than this surgery, but getting cut, on in your lower stomach, man, let me tell you, that's a whole nother thing. Because the muscles, you don't know what you need and what you miss until it's impacted. So, you know, laughing and just trying to clear my throat, because having anesthesia and all that, the after effects, your throat and stuff still feel like something in it. Man, that stuff was painful. It was hard to do. But I think my healing process has been great because I prepared on the front end. So I haven't done no working out since I've been healing, and that is like one of the hardest things because I'm ready to get back to do something. But I'm gonna start doing something lightly now. Very, maybe just a little bit more walking or something like that. Nothing crazy. So, a tribe who's listening, don't call me and send me no text talking about sit yourself down. I am. I ain't gonna do nothing crazy. Trust, I am not trying to injure myself. But what you do to prepare going into it helps with the day of the process and the process after. So my post-op this week, my wound is healing. She said, "Oh my gosh, you look great." She was like, "Okay, let me go to my other folks because this is a non-issue over here." And I think part of that is because of the things I did to prepare for it. So anybody who's going through this, I encourage you to just schedule your meals and stuff so they're ready on the back end so you don't have to worry about anything. Get your body ready, get your mindset ready. So if that's, I mean, some, at least some stretching, remove stress. um One of my girlfriends gave me a strategy because I have stairs in my home, and that was just genius. Like, how I'm an engineer and I didn't think about that. you know, when I came home to walk up the stairs, I walked up the stairs backwards. So these are just different things people don't tell you and don't know and think to tell other folks. So it takes the pressure because you think about the law of gravity. If you were walking up the stairs forward, in the front facing, just think about the movements and the muscles and the impact that it's going to have after being cut. So you want to walk up the stairs backwards. That right there removed all the pressure and it made it easier for me to go up the stairs. So whenever tackle on the stairs, and I still do it now, if I come up the stairs, I come up the stairs backwards. Get yourself to help you heal better too. Because my doctor laughed at me. She was like, "You coming in here, why do you have on this binding garment, a garment? You knew you had a doctor's appointment." I said, "Because it helps with the healing process and it makes me feel better." I got that tactic from plastic surgery, plastic surgeons. What they get, the instructions they give people who have gone through plastic surgery. One of the things they have them do is put on a garment. Man, that helps with the healing process. Because when I tell you standing up and I be feeling like stuff inside my body is moving and shifting, with that binding garment, I have a Spanx this Spanx garment that I use, and I have something else. It just helps me feel supported, and it helps my stomach. I don't even know how to explain it. It just helps it stay in place to where it helps to really protect that wound as well, and it doesn't feel like the pressure is there. So these are just some of the things I've been doing to help with my healing process. So tomorrow I'm actually starting post surgery massages. So again, another tip from plastic surgeons, and I read up on some things where they advise them to do it, but they also, these are the same practices they recommend for people who have had similar type of cuts or just really any surgery. My masseuse will tell you any surgery, because if you don't get that skin and start massaging it because it's numb, if you don't start massaging it, it can the scar tissue can start to harden and it can form knots in your body. And then you can start looking, because right now my stomach's a little lopsided, one side is a little bigger than the other. So we it's time to start molding it, and part of it is harder on one end than the other. So we about to go work that stuff out. Now let me tell you, it ain't it is it don't feel too good, But in the end, and they're just little 30-minute sessions, in the end, you're going to be thankful for that because you are less likely to have scar tissue. You're less likely to have bumps, and the area will be more balanced because they're going to massage. They got to know what they're doing because it's similar to a lymphatic drainage type of massage where it's moving all those things out of your system. So, those are just some other tips. I definitely recommend anybody who's getting ready to have a hysterectomy, a myomectomy, and any of these other type of procedures. It was something else I was thinking about. I should have made a note. Um, it was something. Of course, yeah, don't be eating crazy. You still want to eat healthy while you're healing. Make sure you're getting plenty of protein because you need protein so that your body can heal, and it helps with your wound closing. um not having enough protein can cause your wound to delay. It could take longer for your wound to actually close and to fully heal. So you want to make sure you're eating a balanced meal and have plenty of protein. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. I ended up having a reaction, and I really don't know what it's to, because like I said, I've had back surgery, so I've been under anesthesia before, and I'm not sure what it is. As we get older, things change with our body. Man, when I tell you, I was itching for about two. I itched for about 2 weeks. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. I was itching, and the weird part is, it was only a certain part of my body. It was literally from my neck down to my stomach and the top part of my back. I broke out. I had like rash in different places, and it was just red, and it was just bumps, and it was just itching. And let me tell you, it was like I couldn't take nothing that relieved it. I took Benadryl, I took cortisone. I mean, I named it. I bought stuff, and I just was itching. So it's gone. I guess it just had to wear out of my system. So I'm thinking it could have been something to the anesthesia, because one of the side effects of anesthesia is itching, and you can break out. I don't know. So just keep that in mind. You could have a reaction once you get home. So know that that is part of the process. Now, your incision, if you've never been cut before, that will eventually start itching, and that's a sign that it's healing. So that's a good sign. But it was beyond my incision. I mean, I had broken out on my chest, under one arm, not the other. It was just the weirdest thing, and it drove me bananas because I couldn't, I couldn't function. The Benadryl, it just didn't work at all. But thank God I'm not itching anymore because that drove me crazy. But that's pretty much my journey up to now. So I still have let's see, three, because I'm down. I'm off for 6 weeks, so I still have 3 more weeks to go. Yeah, about 3 more weeks or so to go. And I'll keep you all posted if anything new come up, and those of you I know who's having procedures, I'll check on you. But I hope this has been helpful. Again, the bottom line is this. It could be anything. This is for everybody. Advocate for yourself. Don't rely on the doctors to make the best decisions for your concerning your health, because they're not going to always make the best decision. If you feel some kind of way, you got symptoms or something is weird, your body is off, if your doctors don't listen to you and they're not trying to hear you, go get another opinion. Okay? Go get another opinion. Don't be married to one doctor. Don't trust what they say as the gospel. You have to take ownership of your health, because we only got one life to live, and we know when something is really going on and when something is out of whack. And if they ain't willing to help us make it better, then we need to find somebody else who will. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank y'all for allowing me to share. Stay safe, everyone. And hey, we'll talk some other time. Enjoy and take care. Thank y'all for your support. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your encouraging messages. All those who are continuing checking in on me, I greatly appreciate it. I know I am truly blessed to have some folks who really love me and who really care. And I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all. So Stay safe, y'all. Until next time, peace.